Welcome to Crayola Creativity Week. Today's theme is self-confidence and student voice. And our special guests are Daryl DMC McDaniels and Tristan Tate. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing? Good to be here.
Hey, guys.
We're excited that you'll be talking to us about self-confidence and using your voice in creative and powerful ways. Daryl, please introduce yourself and describe how your childhood experiences shaped your confidence and led to your adult career.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Daryl DMC McDaniels from Run DMC. My childhood experiences that shaped my career came from the fact that I loved school. I loved education. I loved reading. I loved writing. I loved arithmetic. So it was education that would inspire me to be courageous and go out there and try to be something. And with a confidence that education and imagination gave me, I am proof that you can be anything that you can imagine.
Tristan, please introduce yourself and describe some of your early memories of feeling confident that you were an artist.
Yeah, hi. I'm Tristan. I'm an artist and an illustrator. As long as I've known, I guess I've always realized I wanted to be an artist. I've always been drawing ever since I was a kid. I used to tell my parents that I wanted to grow up to be, the next Walt Disney. And that's still a work in progress, but we'll get there. But yeah, when I was younger, you'd always just find me laying around. I'd have my sketchbooks everywhere, surrounded with pens and pencils and just drawing silly little faces and cartoons and fun little monsters. And it's been a few years now and I'm still drawing silly little faces and fun little monsters. So I guess it's worked out.
Daryl, your talents as a poet and innovator started to shine as a kid and continued throughout your career. You blended these to create hip-hop before others knew about this brand new type of music. What is involved in being a pioneer and creating something new?
Being a pioneer is like being an explorer. You're searching for information. You're seeking out uncharted territories. So to be a pioneer, you have to have a desire to experience things you have heard about or haven't even known about before.
Daryl, please read the book Daryl's Dream, which introduces us to you as a brave kid who spoke up to be your own self-advocate.
This is my book, Daryl's Dream, with illustrations by the incredible Tristan Tate. So like I say before I do my hip-hop performances, are you ready? Daryl loved third grade. He especially loved music class and writing. Great job, Daryl, said his teacher as she handed him back his poem. There was a big A+ on it. You should recite this at the talent show. Really? Said Daryl. He was proud of his poem, but he wondered, was it really that good? After school, Daryl headed to the talent show sign-up sheet. He wrote his name at the very bottom. What do you think you're doing? Said a boy named Charlie. What talent do you have? Daryl didn't know what to say, so he held up his poem. Wow, what a nerd, said Charlie, and you have the dumb glasses to match. A girl named Denise joined in. Look, guys, Daryl's so weird with his stupid poems and his stupid A+. He's going to make a fool out of himself at the talent show. Everyone laughed. Daryl was so upset that he crossed his name off the sheet. By the time Daryl got home, he felt totally defeated. Mom, he said, I wish I didn't wear big glasses and get good grades. The other kids don't like me. Not everyone will like you, Daryl, said his mom. What's important is that you like yourself and you stay true to who you are. Daryl didn't agree. He ran upstairs into his room. I wish I could be someone else, said Daryl as he fell asleep that night. Before long, he drifted off into a dream. Daryl's dream was amazing. He flew all the way through space and up to the stars. Hello, Daryl, said a voice that echoed all around him. Here, you can be anyone or anything you want. Just wish it. I wish those mean kids liked me, said Daryl. As you wish, said the voice. Suddenly, Daryl was big and strong. He was hanging out with the kids who'd made fun of him. But something was wrong. Daryl didn't feel like himself. He thought of another wish. I want to be something everyone likes, said Daryl, like the coolest sports car in the world. As you wish, said the voice. Poof! Daryl turned into a supercharged hot rod. He looked amazing. People stood around him and admired his shiny new finish. Then he heard a noise from up above. Look, a helicopter, said someone in the crowd. It didn't take long before everyone forgot about Daryl. Wow, said Daryl, even the best hot rod isn't a helicopter. Guess I'd better wish for something else. Daryl thought for a moment before he had an idea. I wish to be the best version of myself. As you wish, said the voice. Suddenly, Daryl found himself inside a recording studio. There were instruments everywhere, and there was lots of fancy equipment. The walls were lined with gold records. Daryl looked at one of the awards and saw in the picture he was grown up. He still had his glasses, and he looked cool in them. Daryl was about to pick up a drumstick when he heard a loud ringing. His alarm clock. He was going to be late for school. Daryl rushed to get ready, but he took a moment to stop and look in the mirror. His glasses didn't look so bad after all. Ready for school? Asked his mom. More than ever, said Daryl. He grabbed his poem and ran out the door. Outside school, Daryl saw the kids who had picked on him making fun of another smart kid. Stop that, said Daryl. You guys think you're so cool, but you aren't. At school, Daryl marched up to the sign-up sheet and put his name back on it. I'm going to do my poem at the talent show, and I don't care what anyone thinks. That afternoon, it was time for the talent show. Daryl waited backstage for his cue. He put on a new hat. He pushed up his glasses. He held on to his poem. He was very nervous. As he was waiting, the mean kids came backstage. You can't perform without your poem, said Charlie. He grabbed the paper from Daryl and he ripped it up. Yeah, and you look silly in that hat, Denise chimed in. All the kids laughed. Just when Daryl thought it couldn't get worse, he was called to the stage. Daryl froze in the spotlight. What was he going to do? He thought of what his mom had told him. I can do this. I just need to be myself. Daryl took a deep breath and grabbed the microphone. He rhymed about reading comic books and drawing superheroes. He rhymed about loving school and making friends. He even rhymed about how one day he would go to college. The crowd was shocked. What a weirdo, someone yelled. But Daryl kept going. He rhymed about bullies in school. He rhymed about what his mom had taught him. He even rhymed about his glasses. As the words flowed out of him, the crowd rose to their feet cheering. Daryl was finally being himself, and it felt amazing. After the show, Daryl ran into Charlie and Denise. "Wow, Daryl," said Denise, "I didn't know poems could sound like that. That was really cool." "Me neither," added Charlie. "Can you teach me how to write poems just like you?" Daryl smiled. "I'll help you," he said, "but you shouldn't write poems like me. You should write poems like Charlie." Daryl McDaniels, hey y'all, that's me, followed his dream and went on to become hip-hop pioneer DMC. He traveled the world spreading his personal style and message of love and confidence to millions. His glasses even became a symbol of hip-hop fashion. Daryl still loves music, yes I do, and continues to teach children to be themselves and follow their dreams. So at the end of the book, there's a page called Daryl's Rap. But I want all of you on the purple page next to Daryl's Rap, you write your name, then you write rap after your name, and then you write how you see yourself now and where do you see yourself when you're grown up. You can call me Daryl. You can call me D. The initials of my name are DMC. Daryl McDaniels, that's my name. One day I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame. Since kindergarten, I've acquired the knowledge. And after 12th grade, I'm going straight to college. I'm a nice kid from Hollis, Queens, and I love eating chicken and collard greens. I read comic books and I love to draw. I've been drawing superheroes since I was 4. I get good grades and I love school because education is really, really cool. I wear my glasses. They help me see there are a lot of other kids who are just like me. Being good is like ABC. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. I like playing games and making friends, but I don't get mad if I don't win. Don't be a bully. Don't tease others. Treat each other like sisters and brothers. Call me Daryl McDaniels or Daryl Mack, and you can call this poem Daryl's Rap. That's my rap. All I want to know is, what's yours?
Daryl, as a child, you experienced different reactions from those around you, both supporters and challengers. What helps kids be brave, build self-confidence, and express their voice?
When I was a little kid, like every little kid, you're always afraid. You always have a little anxiety. You're always confused because you think that maybe I'm not capable of doing the thing everybody else could do, or maybe I'm not able to do the thing that I want to do. I did what little Daryl and Daryl's dream did. Remember, when Charlie ripped up his poem, Daryl was afraid at first. But then Daryl realized, wait a minute, I'm the person that wrote the information on the paper so I could read it. Then he said that everything necessary for a young person to succeed is already inside of them. I wrote the book Daryl's Dream for 2 reasons. To let every kid know that they're perfect just the way they are, and because they are who they are, with that will allow them to succeed at whatever it is that they do.
Drawing and writing about your interests, like young Daryl does in the book, can help to overcome challenges and guide us toward our dreams. Daryl, what advice do you have for kids as they write their own dream poems?
Everybody has a story to tell, and everybody has a story that will inspire, motivate, touch, and change somebody's life. So in order to express yourself, you look at the things that inspire you. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a TV show, maybe it's a cartoon. And then you say, okay, I see the things that they are, where they come from, who they are. All you have to do is tell people who you are. You don't have to be like anybody else. Everybody has a story to tell. And if you tell your truth, people will be able to understand your story and realize the potential that's in your dream.
Thank you, Daryl. Tristan, like Daryl, you are creative in many ways. Often people who create describe a feeling of being stuck and unsure of how to solve a problem during the creative process. What helps open you up to new possibilities and overcome the feeling of being stuck?
Getting stuck creatively, it happens quite a bit actually. Usually when I'm feeling stumped, I can do a few things. I firstly like to go outside. Maybe I'll just look up the clouds, see what kinds of faces or animals I can see forming in the shapes of the clouds. If I'm with friends or family, maybe I'll show them what I'm working on. See if I can get some feedback, maybe some suggestions they've got, which will really help move me through to the next part of what I'm working on. Or another really good one is either grab a book or jump online and take a bit of a look at other countries and cultures from around the world. Try and get inspired by what they're doing, their different clothing styles, their traditions or festivals they might be having. The more you can learn about other people around the world, the more you can use all of this stuff in your artwork and help you become unstuck when you get a little bit stumped.
Tristan, you're a multi-talented designer, musician, and illustrator that has collaborated on many exciting projects. Please share tips for kids on how to collaborate on creative projects.
Collaborating's super important and super fun. When I worked with Daryl on Daryl's Dream, we collaborated together to sort of make his story both fun to read and just as fun to look at. So while he was writing and using his strengths on writing to come up with the adventure and the important lessons that young Daryl learnt along the way and finding his best self, I got to take these ideas that were written out and then try and turn them into an entire world. So creating the rest of the school children, the schoolyard, the talent show, and what everyone looked like and how it all worked together. He would tell me what he was thinking at the time. I would then draw a picture of, say, young Daryl. We've worked together, we've come up with a middle ground, and we've got something that looks probably even better than either one of us would have started thinking at the beginning. And that's the best part about collaborating with people is we've all got our different strengths. So when you can combine your strengths with somebody else's strengths, you usually come up with something even better.
Tristan, Daryl's Dream is a story about being proud of who you are, regardless of what others say or think. Your illustrations show young Daryl stepping on stage with a sense of confidence and pride. You show him being his best self. Please share some cartoon drawing techniques that can help kids draw themselves.
In order to become his best self, he's really embraced the different things that make him and him special and unique. So when we're drawing our best selves, we want to find the things that make us special and unique. So maybe if we've got a mirror nearby, we can take a look at ourselves in the mirror and find the different features on our face that make us special. So maybe you've got some glasses, maybe you've got big, fun, curly hair, some freckles, short, spiky hair, maybe a great big smile, or what color eyes do you have? So now we've figured out what we have that's special. We can now make those larger than life in our cartoons. So when I'm drawing my cartoons, I like to get these features, make them a little extra big. So when drawing Daryl, we can start with just a nice circle for his head. Now I'm just using just a skin color and I'm drawing it nice and lightly because we're going to trace over this later. So you can be as messy as you want to be, that's fine. Now if we come down a little bit lower on the circle here, we can draw a little tipped over C shape for his nose. Add a couple little nostrils in, and then above that, this is where we draw his glasses. So we're making them nice and big, because they're the cool part. And we're going to draw a couple of big squares for the frames, and then a couple of smaller squares on the inside to make the lenses. Now, in here, we can probably drop his eyes in as well. I'm just drawing some little dots. And a little bit of an arc just above the nose for the bridge. Got a couple more little boxes there just for the arms, and we can draw a backwards C for the ear. and an S shape for that little squiggly bit on the inside of your ear. Now, just below the nose, we'll put in a nice big smile. I'm going to draw this it's like a D or a tipped over P shape. A little bit of a curl under there for his teeth, a little bit of a curl on the bottom for a tongue. We'll draw his top lip and a bottom lip. Now, if we start just here, we can do a little bit of a bump out for his cheek, point down for the chin, and back around the other side. Now, the other thing I thought was fun was Daryl's hat. He loves his hat, and that's what makes him feel really happy and proud on stage. So we're going to start by making a nice big hat from the top of his head and draw up and create a bit of an M shape to the back of his head. Make sure it fits on, and then a bit of a squashed circle for the brim. Now, again, when he's on stage, he's having fun, he's dancing and he's jumping around talking about all the different things that he loves. So we're going to try and add a bit of a fun action body here. So again, when we're drawing cartoons, it's all about easy shapes. We can draw just a bit of a jelly bean for his body, big bit of spaghetti for his arms, microphone. So a circle, and then a couple of sausages for his fingers, more sausages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we should probably give him a t-shirt so he doesn't get cold. And we've got Daryl getting up and dancing. We can do a couple of arrows for his legs, nice and easy. And then some big shoes. So now we've got our rough drawing. Let's start coloring in. So I'm just going to use the same color for his skin. And just doing this nice and quickly. Again, you can be as rough and messy as you want, because that's half the fun. And then we can change color. Maybe grab blue for those jeans. I'm going to start the lines there, but that's all good. So maybe we'll give him a bit of red on his t-shirt just for something different. So we'll add a bit of red. And around the neck there. So we'll grab some black. And again, just quickly coloring those in. And I'm just trying to remember where all of my loose lines that I started with are. Because what we're going to do in a sec is we're going to grab a marker, then we're going to trace around these. And this is a good way to get a nice, cool cartoon look when you give it a big, bold outline. And grabbing my black marker here, we can go around all of those outlines that we did at the start. So we trace up and around that big M shape, around that squashed circle. Come in and we draw his glasses. And you can see now where all of our scribbly colouring in was. The black marker is just going to cover over the top of it, and you won't even know. We have Daryl. So this is Daryl being his best self. Now it's time for you to draw your best self.
Tristan, in the book, Daryl accomplishes the dream that he wrote about in his closing rap. Please demonstrate some cool ways that kids can illustrate their own dream poems.
I'll show you some tips for illustrating your dream poem using symbols and fun lettering. When you're finished, we have an incredible opportunity for kids whose art is submitted for today's creative challenge. One special illustrated dream poem will be included in a future Kids Bop music video. This book showed that a kid's dream came true. Today, a kid or group of kids who participate in this Crayola Creativity Week Creative Challenge will have the dream of their artwork being featured in a music video come true. So let's get started. So if we notice at the end of Daryl's dream, got here at the end, there's some great big bubble letters. We can have a go at trying that. I'm just going to grab my pencil. And again, we're writing nice and lightly to start with, because this is how I do my cartoons. And you can write whatever you like. So you can maybe write your name. You can write the name of your poem or just things you're interested in. I'm going to write Get Creative. So we're starting off nice and light, same as before. And I'm just going to write these letters in. Get Creative. We're just keeping a little bit of space between each letter. we can trace around all of these and make our bubble shapes. So all we're doing here is we're tracing these letters and we're keeping a little bit of distance around the lines that we drew. Made this one a bit too close, but that's fine. I can just pretend that I'm drawing the line through the R. And then our E. Finish it up. Oh, no, I've missed the part in the A, so I can put that in, make that a star instead, just for a bit of fun. So now we've got our bubble letters down. Let's do another big bubble, and it's going to go around all of this. So again, we're following around now all the letters together. And we're just keeping it a little bit away from the edges, creating this cool little pattern. So now it looks like it's all tied together into one big picture. So we can start coloring it now. Because I've got the red, I'm going to keep going with the red. So one fun little trick we can do, I like to do this a lot when I'm drawing my fancy letters, is I'm going to color it in just maybe one half of the letter. And then as I get to the middle of the letter, I'm going to press a little bit lighter. You can see how the color starts to fade out a bit here. I'm just going to do not all the letters, just some of them, because I'm going to change colors. A little bit harder at the top, so it's nice and dark, and then I fade it out, just pressing lighter as we get to the bottom. We can do the G as well. So we'll get rid of that red for now. So let's change color now. Let's jump into, let's say, blue. I'm going to press nice and tight, get a good strong color out of it. And then as we come down, we fade it in. Now it looks like it's blending. And again, because we haven't got any outlines here, we can just be as rough and messy as we want. Let's grab, let's see, some orange maybe. We'll do the C. A little bit of orange at the top up here. And you can get as creative as you want. So whatever your favorite colors are, just throw them in. There's no order, there's no rules. It's the best part about art. You can be as creative as you like. Let's mix it up with some yellow. And then we'll put in some green because we can. And again, just going to blend it out in the middle. And let's do some purple. Alrighty, now we're all colored in. It's all a little bit messy, and that's great. We can clean that up now with our marker. So let's trace over the outlines of all of these letters to make it nice and cartoony. So as we trace all the way around here, gone a little bit over, but that's fine because I can just color that part in black, which now, made a bit of a mistake there, but I'm turning this, if I color all the bottom parts in dark black, now it looks like it's got a shadow. So that was an accident. That kind of worked out well for me. And we'll trace around the different letters at the bottom here. Now we've got our fancy lettering done, we can start to add all the different things for our dream poem around it. So some fun little sketches. Different things that you enjoy, let's sketch them in. So maybe you like soccer. We could draw a soccer ball. Maybe you really like ice cream. We can put in an ice cream cone. Big triangle for the cone. Big blob of ice cream at the top. Maybe some drops. There we go. Put a few of these little special magic lines, make it look like it's flashing or it's glowing. This is my creative word. Yours is going to look very different. It's probably going to be your name. It could be anything, really. So now I'm finished. It's time for you to get creative.
Tristan, thank you for demonstrating how kids can awaken their voice and confidence to create Being My Best Self cartoons and illustrated dream poems.
Thanks, Diana. Been great to be here. Bye.
We want to thank both Daryl and Tristan for sharing their personal stories and inspirational ideas. And we thank all the kids who have joined us today from around the world. Parents and educators, be sure to check out more exciting learning ideas at Crayola.com/creativityweek. Remember to share your kids' artwork on social media so others can see how they creatively represent their strengths and dreams using #CrayolaCreativityWeek. for a chance to win today's amazing giveaway.